Okay, sometimes you might be a little bit worried when it comes to your profit. So I have the US30 trade right here. The sell was executed, that stop loss on top of that particular rejection. Okay, so sometimes people, what they struggle with when it comes to trading in general, it's managing their money, managing their profits. Okay, so with this trade, what can we do in this case? We can say these have gone 2 times our risk, but it's still a little bit far away from the final target. Okay, so what you can do when you are panicking, you can close a little bit of money. Okay, and that is called partial profit. Partial profit. Okay, we can call it scaling out if you want to call it that. So what we're gonna do is right here, if you check, I took this trade with a standard lot. Okay, a standard lot, a one lot. So I can change, I can cut half of this position. Okay, I can change this from 1 to 0.5 while the position is running. But by doing that, it means whatever profits that I have, if I have $400 here, it means I'm just going to be chopping it into half, locking in half of that profit. Okay, that's just another trick that you can do, but you can only do this if the lot size that you took with is greater than the minimum lot for that asset. If you have 0.01, if this is the minimum lot size that you can take whatever asset with, you cannot, unfortunately, cannot chop it in half. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to close this trade, but I'm not going to close the whole of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on the position right here, and I go to close. Before I close, I'm going to change the lot size. Okay, you see where it says volume, I'm going to change that to 0.5 because I just want to close half. I don't want to close the whole of it. I want to close half of this position. If you check here, it says close this particular trade with the ticket number 0.5. Okay, so remember, if I drag this, you can see here it's one lot. So if I close now, that one lot, which is this particular portion, is going to change into 0.5, meaning that I'm closing half of that lot size. Okay, so if I click close, see, says of course. Okay, try again. Is it going through? Yes, it went through. I have closed, you can see I have closed 0.5 of my trade. Okay, I've closed some of the profits, as you can see. So after closing some of the profits, move your stop loss to break even, because now you have closed some of the profits. All right, so this is now a risk-free trade. All right, if it goes back up to hit your stop loss, now you have closed some of the profits, it's just going to close the trade at break even. You're not going to lose money. You've already closed money. Okay, so this is much easier for you. It's going to be much easier for you psychologically in order for you to be able to hold trades much longer. This is one thing that can help you to hold trades much longer, because now you're no longer worried about this particular portion or whether the market is going to go up and all that, because you've already closed half of your position. So that is very, very, very important for your trading psychology as well, or your trade management as well. But if you pay attention, you can see that the stop loss was there. So meaning that I took care of risk management. That was one thing. And now that we're in profit, I also did a little bit of trade management, which is me as well managing my trade as it's running. Keep in mind, I didn't move my stop loss before I saw profits. Okay, I only moved the stop loss after seeing profits and also after closing half of my profit. You can see the stop loss was up there initially. Look at that, that is 2 times, even passing more than 2 times of what I was actually risking. Okay, so it is very important for you to know when to take your profits, when to leave a trade open, because if this thing goes back up, I'm not going to be worried because the stop loss have moved from here to entry. So it's just going to close at 0.00, and it's okay because I've already made money on this particular trade. So that's how I manage running positions, because now maybe one might be scared to say, what if it goes all the way and hit the TP? What if it doesn't? Because we're dealing with probabilities. It might drop all the way down, maybe to this particular point right here, right? And I might again close maybe 0.4 of my profits if it comes here, and just leave 0.1 running. Okay, that's just another trick, because you really don't want to leave money on the table. You need to be very strategic when it comes to you collecting your money. Okay, very, 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 very important, because it's hard. I mean, it's hard. Nobody want to say it. Mentors don't want to say it. It's hard holding trades, but you need to find ways in which you're gonna hold your trades and still protect your capital at the same time. Okay, always use a stop loss. I always say that, always use a stop loss. Make sure that you understand risk management. You do not drive the market. I do not drive the market. So it doesn't matter how good of an analyst you are, the market will move in any direction. Whether you've drawn lines or you haven't drawn lines, whether you know how to draw lines or you don't know how to draw lines, the market will move in any direction. So please always keep that in mind, that we're dealing with probabilities in this game. Therefore, you don't want to find yourself leaving money on the table or making terrible mistakes. Make sure that you understand risk management. Am I worried that price is going to go back and stop me out? Well, now I don't care, because I've already closed. Actually, the initial position for the initial shandies had a much bigger lot size. I kept on reducing it as price came all the way down. So that's what I wanted you guys to understand, that you can close part of your profit by changing the lot size to something small. Okay, while you are in profit, or even if you are in a loss, but then you're just gonna close the loss. Okay, so I don't use that. I use this to take my profits, hence I call it partial profits, or it's called partial profits. For profits, not for losses. I don't use it to chop my losses down, because my losses needs to be taken care of by the stop loss. So if I put my stop loss here initially, I need to know how much that is, how much I have calculated that stop to be, so that if something goes wrong and my analysis don't go they're not correct and price goes against me, I must get stopped out at a certain level, because I'm trying by all means to protect my money. And mentors don't want to talk about risk management, because risk management will delay once what do you call it, somebody's progress and all that. You cannot double accounts and all that. I'm gonna request to one student of mine who doubled the account nicely, implementing risk management. Let me know in the comment section if I should probably bring the student to share what they were doing right there using the stuff that I have actually taught them. So please let me know if you'd like me to call that student out, so that they can show you how they've doubled that account safely, but still using stop losses, but still taking a much greater risk, because most of you don't understand that, Chandis, as to how can you still risk a little bit more, right? A little bit more while you are still making profits and protecting your capital at the same time. So that is a trick that one needs to understand. Our job is to protect our capital. Be a risk manager first before you become a trader, and that's exactly what I've done. So now that the stop loss is a little bit far, it's a bit far, but this is an index, so it could reach that stop loss, hit it, and continue to the downside, or go all the way up. Nobody knows where it's gonna go. Vindy doesn't know if it's gonna hit, go back up, or whatever. But the initial analysis that I had was to sell around that particular level up there and hide the stop loss up there. Okay, initially we had a pending order. I believe it was triggered quick and stopped out. Okay, so that was the initial trade on the US30 right here. Okay, otherwise let me just shut this down. And yeah, man, that's what I wanted to share with you all. I hope you guys are okay. If you've watched this video up to this point, consider subscribing, give it a like, or drop me a comment down here, and also share it. This is just a mini trick, partial profits. Maybe some of you who are beginners don't know how to close partial profits, but that's one thing that you can actually do. Otherwise, sharp. Did I say sharp?